Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So first of all, just wanted to say thank you because Elden Ring actually reached 700,000 views, which is pretty good considering that YouTube is completely broken nowadays, and it's a really good result. And on top of that, it is my most well-received animation. Like in terms of the comments, in terms of the like and dislike ratio, that the amount of likes is the best performing, I suppose you would say, video I've ever done, and that's really impressive on its own. So yeah, today we're gonna talk about my new animation, which will be about Shadow of the Erdtree, the DLC for Elden Ring. And throughout this presentation you will see some previews of the stuff that I've worked on so far. They will be kind of like peppered throughout the whole thing, with some really cool announcements that you don't want to miss near the back end of this video. And boy oh boy, well, first of all, it's not going to be a big animation, but will actually be a series of cartoons. So for now, I think it will be certainly 3 cartoons in total, but it could be 4. I'm not still sure, because I'm working on the first one right now. In terms of the progress, I'm almost done doing the animated sketches for this first episode. Next week, basically, I will start to work on the outlines, which is the cleaning up of the rough animations, and then I will do the coloring, etc, etc. So yeah, I did a lot of work already, and the entire kind of like the structure of the parody is already written, like the whole thing is written. But I decided to make it into small episodes. Now, small is not really the correct word because each one will still be around 8 minutes or something like that. But I wanted to talk why I decided to make it into single episodes. So of course, there's an advantage nowadays on YouTube to post a video every now and then, instead of like waiting many months and then put out a video. That can be advantageous to keep the channel alive, which is really a thing that I'm suffering from right now on my channel. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but basically it's a good choice strategically. But the reason why I decided to do it for this specific parody, for the DLC of Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, it's because I genuinely think that it will work for this animation. The way that I see it is that this is not like dividing in parts something, like chopping it off, right? The way that I structured it, that I envision it, is that it would feel as if you were playing the DLC and you were visiting the Shadow Realm, and let's say first you go to this region, right? And you explore it and maybe you find a boss. And then later you decide to, okay, let's go to this other region and explore these 2 biomes, right? And you maybe move to another area until you have a full picture of the whole thing. And so it just felt so organically good, to just have it divided into small adventures, right? And that was like a huge sigh of relief for me because I really didn't want to compromise my vision, right? Like imagine that I wanted to divide into pieces Dark Elden Ring or even the first animation for Elden Ring. It wouldn't have worked, honestly, because the story of the parody has a whole arc, right? But in this case, the way that I constructed it is that each episode will have its own arc, right? And it was like a huge relief to see it working in this format. And so, of course, I'm super excited because I can actually give you something to watch that is well done, and well constructed in a couple months. I can provide you with a new video, and that's a really nice thing because on top of helping the channel out in terms of the algorithm stuff, I can even connect with you guys more times, Another thing that I noticed is that when I make one of my big animations, people tend to kind of be overwhelmed, right? Because they have so many things, going on, and it's like jokes after jokes. And so when I see the comments are super nice, but they tend to be like, oh, I really enjoyed it. Like they say a comment about a general comment, right? But it's more rare that you see someone saying, oh, I really like this specific part, right? They're just overwhelmed, they don't know what to say, right? So nowadays, it is kind of better to present something that is more digestible. So because it's more digestible, people can really kind of appreciate the content that is in the video, right? Rather than having this experience that is kind of like a drug trip where they're just overwhelmed, right? So I feel like this format will help me kind of connect with you guys more than before. Alright, so there's a bunch of things that I can tell you about this first episode, but I can't tell you too much because there's something that's gonna happen that is kind of crazy. There's something really mind-blowing that will happen, which is really exciting, but I really don't want to spoil it to you guys. Even in the footage that you will see in this video, I am on purpose not showing some stuff that is going to be pretty huge. But I can tell you the fact that this is one of my most ambitious in terms of animations. Like it's very, very intense. One of the most intense animations I've ever done with this first episode. And I'm really proud of it, you know, because it looks really smooth. I'm really happy about the results so far. It's something that I've never done, basically. I can tell you also this, that at the beginning of this new animation, there will be like a story part, kind of like the story trailers that usually From Software releases, usually when they have a new video game coming out. And this sequence will kind of like explain the context of the parody, the context of the world of the Shadow Realm, or rather my version of the Shadow Realm. Another thing that I can share is the fact that the main character will wear the Bloodhound Knight set, which is so badass. I love it so much, and I really feel like the design of this armor really fits the world of the Shadow Realm. Like it's actually, the color palette looks amazing in the context of the world that you're exploring. Minus the helmet, because it's kind of weird. And here's the thing that I'm really excited about. The fact that in each one of the episodes, the character will have a different weapon. And that allows to kind of like experiment, you know, I can experiment with different jokes, different things that happen, different dynamics, you know, with the bosses. So super excited about that, honestly. And even sometimes you will see the weapon changing during the episode itself, which is really cool. And last, in terms of the timeline on when I will be able to bring you guys this new video, basically I'm thinking of like making a teaser, not really a trailer, kind of like a hybrid between a teaser and a trailer. And I'm aiming to publish it around the end of December. And then for the full video, I'm aiming for the end of January 2026, basically. So just a couple of months from now. As usual, with all my animations, even in this one, I give the possibility to have your name featured in the cartoon. You can either have your name in the credits or inside the animation. So basically there will be a sequence near the beginning of the video where you'll be able to see your name written inside of the cartoon. But, and this is one of the announcements that I wanted to make, I decided to open it up even to memberships. Now, I didn't have memberships enabled on my channel because, you know, I don't like to do the stuff that everybody's doing, you know, I'm trying to keep it kind of like, I'm old school, you know. But I thought about the fact that, look, you know, on Patreon, the support that I get on Patreon is really nice, you know, because I get more money from the pledge that I get, and it helps me out more, right? And people also get something in return, you know, because they can download extra content and stuff like that behind the scenes. But then I was like, okay, look, there's some people, you know, some guys that tend to say, look, I cannot do Patreon for whatever reason, you know, but I will be happy to become a member. And I was like, well, you know, but I do have Patreon, you know, I don't want to also do other things. But then I realized, why not? If some people, for whatever reason, they can't use Patreon, but they really want to support me, I'll take all the help that I can get, you know, especially during these times, because it's so hard, you know, to keep this going. And so, yeah, I enabled just the other day the memberships, and people can join just like on Patreon. For $3, they will get the name in the credits of the animation, but for $5, just like on Patreon, they will get their names in the credits and also inside the cartoon. In other words, I extended the idea of Patreon to also members. Now it's patrons and members all together. But yeah, to finish off like the thought that I was talking about, you know, YouTube and all that kind of stuff, the thing that frustrates me the most is the fact that if there's anything that I would say that I find worrying, you know, is one of the things that I said in Dark Elden, which is the idea of not being heard, right? And it's the fact that nowadays, when I make a video, you know, I have still this worry, you know, that maybe the algorithm decides that this video will not be sent to anyone, you know, I will not reach my own audience, you know, and it's really frustrating, you know, because before it wasn't like that. And of course you heard many YouTubers, even like big YouTubers, that they make a lot of money and they're saying, oh, you know, like the views are not the same and this and that. But I mean, they have the privilege of being in a really good position, right? So even if things, for some reason, they're going not as well, they're still making a lot of money, right? But for content creators like me, or even people that are starting right now, it's just impossible, you know. If you can't even reach your own subscribers, it's already difficult to get subscribers, you know. So even when you get them, you can't reach them. It feels like you're basically yelling at the wind, you know, nothing is happening. And this is not because people don't want to watch your stuff, they don't want to connect with you. It's that YouTube doesn't allow them to connect with you. It's just like, it's governed by bots that they don't know how to like send the information to your own audience that want to see you. And it's so frustrating, you know, I don't even know what to say anymore. And honestly, the reason why I'm still doing it is because, yes, I'm motivated, but also because people, they're clearly saying, look, I want to see you making animations. I don't want you to stop. And they want to support me, you know, so that is the only reason why I'm still going, because it makes me feel like it's not for nothing, you know. And of course, I have stories that I want to tell. I have jokes I want to tell. I can't help it. I want to share with the world my vision of these games, you know, my experience. This is how I communicate, basically. But anyway, so I just wanted to kind of like talk about this a little bit. Let's talk about the voice acting, because as always, I'm looking for voice actors that will be paid, of course. And I do have already 3 characters that are taken. And these are for Mikala, Leda, and also Egon. But if you want to become a voice actor for one of the other characters, you know, NPCs, bosses, whatever, like Mesmer, or maybe Ansbach, just send me an email with a demo, okay? So I can check it out, make sure, you know, that it's something semi-professional, you know, that it's actually good. You know, I have actually high standards for these animations. I want them to sound great. I want it to sound authentic, you know, and I'm very precise about doing things, you know, and I'm never gonna use AI. Fuck that, okay? So I'm searching for voice actors, basically. If you have what it takes, just send me a demo on my email address. Or even better, you can reach me out on my website. It's so beautiful. I finally have a website. So the way that this basically happened is that a friend of the channel, a fan, decided to do a website for me, just to kind of give back some of the love. And so yeah, like it's absolutely stunning. Like he presented the idea to me, we talked a little bit and we made some changes. And yeah, I was like, wow, I was just overwhelmed, honestly, that he would do such a nice thing for me. And the results just speaks for itself. So there will be a link in the description for the website so you can check it out. And it looks fantastic, honestly. And the way that we kind of like went about it, it was more like, I don't want to have like a typical website. It was more like having something that feels like a business card where you say, this is who I am, you know, this is what I do. It's almost like a business card that you kind of like browse, you know, and it just looks great. And I love the fact that the main page kind of looks like the menu from one of the Souls games. It's just genius. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Go check it out. And so yeah, the least that I can do is tell you guys that if you need a website, just go ask the dude, you know, just go to his LinkedIn page. You will find his email and you can talk to him, tell him that I sent you, and ask him, you know, if he can do a website for you for, you know, a really good price. You can see right now on the screen, this is like his page for his kind of portfolio. But yeah, honestly, I am extremely thankful. I didn't even know that I needed a website, but it just feels so professional to have it. And anytime I want to be like, hey, what do you do? People ask me. It's always kind of clunky to show like, oh, this is my channel, there's a bunch of videos and I don't know what to show. But if I send, you know, the link to my website, that you can just check everything that I do there, you know, have a clear idea of who I am and what I do. And yeah, it's super professional, honestly. I'm a grown-up, finally. About time. So yeah, thank you, Sarhi. You're the man. Okay, we're done. All I have to say is that I will be back with some streams, animation streams for this Shadow of the Erdtree series. First, I will do just 2 scenes. I have 2 scenes that I will show you guys during the animation streams. I decided to just do 2 because I don't want to do too many. I really want to focus on the work, you know, offline. I don't want to get too many distractions, but I still want to share with you guys the process. So I will do some streams, probably 6 streams in total. And I don't know exactly when, but I will also be back probably at the end of this year, streaming with my friend Flore, who still have to finish Dark Souls 3. He's almost at the end, Ring City, you know, it's almost at the end of the DLC. And then we will switch to Bloodborne. It will be his first gameplay, blind playthrough of Bloodborne. He doesn't even know the game, but I'm sure he's gonna love it, and it's gonna be so many memes. It will be so much fun. I can't wait. That's it, guys. I'm gonna go back to work now. Got a lot to do. I will see you guys around, you know, during the streams or in the comment section. And I can't wait to see your reaction to the teaser, okay? Yeah, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.